4+ years. So that she could potentially do online business with. So, but let's just look at one opportunity to leverage this customer base. Husbands of her customers. Think about Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, anniversary, birthday, Christmas, dig yourself out of the doghouse day, sleeping on the couch day. Husband can only get flowers so many times. I've gotten Kate flowers probably like once or twice this year already. So maybe not, but I need some more options. Jewelry's not one of them. But let's just say 50% of the guests are married. I don't know what the stats are, but let's just use this. I'm not going to take it all the way through the end here in terms of numbers, but let's just say, that's 750 husbands that I guarantee you need ideas for buying gifts for their spouse. And so that gives Kate about 6 times a year where she could reach out to them, or where they might probably won't buy 6 times a year, but that's 6 opportunities, maybe more depending on how often they're in the doghouse. So, so just think about that. How big this could be? How big can you grow your sales, increase your sales and your income by leveraging the folks at your shows? And it goes beyond just the husbands. There's all sorts of other things. This is just one specific example. And with that, what if your love it list? What if you kept that for each of your guests, and you could text or email the husband and say, I know exactly what your wife wants. Here's the link. And because that is like every husband's dream. Like, oh my goodness, this is what she wants. All I have to do is click here and pull out my credit card, and I'm done. It shows up at the door. That's what we now have in Premier. It's huge. So again, this is just one example. And then the other one is lifestyle customers. Kate's going to talk about this more, but that's a pretty significant opportunity as well. When all you have to do is, they see the piece of jewelry on, the necklace on, and you can say, here, I'll send you the link. You can text them the link right away. They can order it right there or later. And then for husbands can do this type of thing too. I talk about Kate's business all the time to other people, especially other men. And I can now tell them, hey, anytime you need a gift for your wife, let me know. I've got an easy option for you, or let me send you it right now. You can be in and out of there online in 5 minutes on your phone and have a great gift for your wife. So husbands can drive business to the online sites as well. So I'm sure there's a ton of other ways, and maybe just in this few minutes, some other ideas have been popping through your head. But these are just 3 simple ideas here to get our minds going. But I'm going to wrap it up here in just a minute, but just a few quick reminders, or just important things to remember. The engine behind it all is still a home show. And it's going to take consistent effort over time. It may not have to be grueling hard work, but it's not going to happen on its own. And it'll take that effort from us. And the other thing too is, there might be a few of you that are like, I don't know about this. You still can be extraordinarily successful in Premier without having an e-commerce site. You don't have to do this. However, I personally think it's a no-brainer, and I think the sky's the limit in terms of the opportunity. So, and in closing, this group, the ColoRockstars, Premier as a whole, we're a relational company. You ladies are a relational group of women, and that is awesome. So, despite the fact that we have changes in technology advances, both just how the world works, how the options we have with social media, the resources we have through Premier that are out there, we're still relational people. And so, as far as I can tell, women still like getting together, and they prefer to be face to face. And they have fun at the parties, having treats, playing in the jewelry, as Kate says, probably a bunch of you. But sitting and talking face to face is what women enjoy doing. And that home show still facilitates that. That's been a strength of this team. And I think it's going to continue to be part of what defines this team and this company. And so I just want to encourage you in that to remember that. But let's leverage that now to grow a whole new opportunity in the e-commerce sites. It's a huge opportunity. And that's all I got.
Isn't that cute? Okay, so I just want to tell you ladies a couple things that I have tweaked, tools that a lot of us already use, and I'm going to upload these either to Facebook or email or the Facebook files or whatever my techie brain can handle, that I just want to show you so that when you get some obliteration of files in one way or another, you think to open them. Because these are things a lot of us are using anyway, and I've just tweaked them a little bit for us now. So one of them is our hostess information sheet. So this is the recommended way to keep track of your hostesses. You're going to get a 1-inch binder and tabs along the side that say January through December, and then you're going to just file in all of your hostesses in the appropriate month. Well, I've changed it. On the bottom, it now has a social media checklist. So you can make sure you're connecting with her on Facebook or getting her on your pager group, and that you've created her Facebook event and that you're following up in there as well. Not every hostess wants that, but I've already found myself in situations where I'm like, I just don't remember where I'm at with all of that. And so I felt like I needed to add it to the hostess information sheet. So there's one. And I'll pass all these around later when we're hanging out and stuff like that. Another thing I've done is edited the hostess tic-tac-toe. So I have always used a hostess tic-tac-toe in my hostess coaching, and this is the old one, so I'll pass it around with the new one so you can see some of the changes that I've made. For example, it used to say 8 adult guests in attendance, but in my new one it says 5, because that's just what we're seeing in the trend. Attendance is down a little bit in parties, but who cares when we're marketing the outside of all of this as well. I might as well just own it and say, I don't really have parties all the time when there's 8 people there, but 5 is definitely more realistic. So I changed that. A couple different things that you'll see, connect with me on Facebook is on the new one, or collecting, it used to say personally emailing 3 people who can't make it and asking them to shop online. Now it says emailing 5 people or texting who can't make it, you know, so I've just kind of like tweaked it a little bit. And the other thing I've done, ladies, is it used to say on the bottom that I would be giving away free jewelry, $15 free, $25, $40, or $60, depending on how much she has done on her tic-tac-toe board. But I have changed that to say either free shipping, free earrings, free bracelet, or free necklace. And I did that for you because it's complicated when you're entering in orders and you're trying to figure out, I told her I'd give her $40 in free jewelry. Do I charge her that $40? Do I take off $40? Am I eating $40? I really only want to be eating $20, you know, because of course all this you get at half price. And so what I've realized is it's really much easier to tell her, you can pick out any bracelet that you want because you qualified on your tic-tac-toe board. Then you can take her bracelet, put it in her half price items, and just don't charge her for that half price. And that's how you can manage that in your bookkeeping so you're not giving away double what you actually intended to. So I just think that's going to be a lot simpler. I'm going to pass this around. Say that again. How do you do it? So if she earned a free bracelet, then when she's giving you her order, you just add in that Starlit bracelet in her half price list, which you might be thinking, but it limits her to that 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever she's at, but it doesn't. So she can do all of her half price shopping, and then you can stick that bracelet in there, and you'll see, oh, it's really only $19.50. And you can see it right on there. So at the end, when you're charging her card, you just take out $19.50, right? So before, it would be this complicated. I mean, it's not really that complicated, but you're like, do I take out 40? Or I told her I'd give her 40, and so it became fuzzy. And I heard jewelers talking about how they felt like it was eating away at their profit too much. I'm like, it's really not if you enter it in the right way. And this is an optional tool, of course, but I just wanted to show you how I've tweaked it. And I do love using these in hostess coaching. And I have white, just plain paper ones I'll pass around as well, just so there's more here. But ladies, I'm telling you, if you go to Hobby Lobby and you buy some cute little paper, you'll see this on her fridge. She is working through her Hostess tic-tac-toe. When you give it to her like this, it's just another piece of paper on her countertop. So I have found that actually taking this seriously and helping her walk through that really boosts my retail. So I changed that up a little bit. I'll pass those around. Another thing I changed, and this has already been amazing, is my guest survey. So I know there's various versions going around, but I will give you this one. And all I really did is add on there number 2. Someone special buys for me. Contact him or her with ideas. Name and contact info. Then there's a line for her to fill that in. And circle birthday, Mother's Day, or Christmas. So I did this just the other day, and trust me, ladies, I do not come up here and train on things I've done once. I never do that. But today I have to because it's all new. I've only done it once, just like all of you. But I'm going to tell you what happened. I was at a party yesterday, and there were 2 guests, and it was a mother and a daughter. The daughter was about my age. The mom was whatever, 60 or whatever. And they had never heard of Premiere, and they came in and didn't know how to wear the jewelry. But of course, by the end, they were like loving it, and they had a huge long wish list, and they were booking parties and everything else that was just like perfect. And then it came time for the guest survey, and so you have to walk them through this. They're just not going to sit there and fill this out the way you want them to, unless you're camping on this. So that's what I was doing, like I always do. Like, number 1, I want to know about a sample sale at Kate's house. That's what that means, and I tell them what that means, so they say yes to that. Number 2. Maybe your husband wants to buy you some of this jewelry on your list, ladies, so that's pretty much all I said. And one of them chimed in, she's like, are you serious? She's like, heck yes! She wrote his email on there, circled all 3, birthday, Mother's Day, and Christmas. And I came home and told Jeremy, he's like, well, why didn't you have all the other ones on there, like anniversary and whatever? I'm like, because I didn't know. I had no idea that she would like love it that much. And so I've got her husband's email, and
my hostess that has had 3 parties in the last 3 years, she loves her Christmas.
yeah,
Every year I've been doing that.
Yeah.
For a while.
yeah, totally. So now, it's like Jeremy said, I can go through her love list and send a link. So here's a couple questions there. Number 1, did she still purchase? Because you don't want to do this if she's not going to purchase that night, right? Because then she's like, oh, I'll just wait and he'll buy it for me. Well, she did. I was doing the 4th line 40 promotion, and she bought 4 items. So she made a nice purchase, but that was all she was going to buy, probably. You really rarely have someone buy more than 4 items. I mean, she made a nice purchase. She loved the jewelry. She wants me to call or email her husband later. That's how much she loved it, so she did. And she booked a party. I mean, I kind of go, I don't feel like that hurt my current, in the moment, interaction with her at all. So there's that. And so that's one way I edited that. And then the other woman, who I knew was married, didn't. So I asked her at the end of the party, I just said, hey, you didn't get everything on your list. Are you sure you don't want me to send some information to your husband? This was like during checkout. And she goes, oh, he doesn't buy me jewelry anyway. He just gives me gift cards for every occasion. So I was like, okay, well, that's fine, right? So 50-50. One of them was like all over that, and the other one said, no thanks, that's fine. So anyways, I'll pass that around. And the last tool that I have changed up for you ladies is the Hostess benefit sheet, well, and for me, because I took off the bonuses. Because it used to say $50 bonus here and there, but we don't do that anymore. So that's basically all I changed on there. Might have tweaked a little bit of the verbiage, but this is a great tool to help your hostess brainstorm people at the end of the party to help boost her sales. And so you want to be going through a checklist with her at the end of every party to let her know how much free jewelry she has just earned, how many half-price items she has, and how she has, ladies, she told you when you walked in the door, oh, my sister can't make it, I'm so disappointed. So at the end of the party, number 1, your sister. I mean, she already told you that, so you just got a reminder. There are people out there who wanted to come, couldn't come, and now they have an easy way to shop. So could they shop from us before? Yes. But isn't it so much easier now? And I just promise you that doing those little due diligence throughout your party will pay off. So I'm going to pass all these around later when we have the game on and stuff like that. And here in the next few months, we'll do this kind of training again, and I want to hear from you, and we'll brainstorm. Right now, it's just so new. No one knows what we're doing. So later, I want to brainstorm and go, what's working, what isn't working, you know, that kind of a thing. So those are just some ideas for now. And now, if I could have Sayla, Maggie, and Sarah come up. So if you ladies just want to bring up 3 chairs, or you can stand, or whatever you want to do. Okay, standing is fine. Chairs are complicated.
People are sitting in them.
Okay.
I have a chair, Sayla can stand.
There you go. Yeah. Well, either way. Okay, so
I'm not gonna do that. Do you guys like stand, sit, lay?
Yeah.
What was it again?
Okay, so these ladies are here to share with you a little bit about bookings. So we're gonna shift gears from e-commerce altogether, and we're gonna move to this idea of having home shows like Jeremy talked about. If you don't really have home shows, it's gonna be very hard to drive your e-commerce in the first place. So I wanted us to definitely get some good nuggets before the holiday season. You need to be having jewelry parties. Whatever you're doing right now, think about increasing by at least one over the next few months. If you're doing none, have one. If you're doing 3, have 4. I mean, really just add one to whatever you're doing, because you'll thank me later. Because these ladies are spending more money starting real soon. And so the reason why I've asked these 3 ladies to come up is because these are 3 of the 4 longest active jewelers in our ColoRockstar family. The other one lives in Oregon, so she couldn't be up here right now. So Selah is just about to have her 4-year renewal coming up, right? And these ladies are in their 3rd year. And here's the deal. These women, month after month after month, are doing jewelry parties. You know that. You see them at training every month. Ding, ding, ding. There's a clue of how you want to have an active business. They're training every month. And you see their names in the newsletters. And you know they are a plethora of knowledge, which is why I wanted to have them come up here. So Selah, in the last year, I ran her reports just before I came here. Drum roll, has retailed over $15,000 in the last year. So ladies, that's over $1,000 a month on average. That's why you can learn from Selah on how to have bookings month after month, because that's a really consistent business, and that's what fits into Selah's lifestyle. Maggie has retailed over $20,000 in the last 12 months, which is almost $2,000 a month after month, and that is what fits into Maggie's lifestyle. And then Sarah, ladies, wait for it. No, for real. What? Sarah has retailed over $51,000. What the heck? Andre, did you hear that? Did you hear that? Andre, your wife has retailed over, let's tell them, $51,000 in the last. Look at Jeremy. Jeremy's Andre's like, yeah, I know. Andre's like, yeah, I know. So, okay, do you guys want to hear from these ladies on how to have parties month after month? So we're gonna have 5 minutes each, and then if there's time before the game and before recognition, 2 of them are gonna model their booking activity in the home. And if there's not time, that's okay, because they'll do it once the game is on. We can have a little like secret spy corner if you want to see what's going on with that. So let's start with Maggie. You go, girl. Okay. Yes.
Well, first things first, I just wanted to put out there that to think about bookings as being the #1 most important part of your party. And for me, I think that can be hard sometimes when I'm getting all revved up, ready to go to a party. I can get stuck on numbers thinking about retail and how much money I want to make, and especially like retail goals that I have, and that's kind of where my head gets stuck. And my husband is really good at being like, let's get some bookings, let's pray for bookings, and that's always what he focuses on, and that's his first question when I come home is, how many bookings did you get? Which is a good reminder for me that bookings, that is the most important part of my party, because if I'm not booking parties at parties, then I'm out of parties and I'm doing homework and I'm calling people, and that's no fun. Absolutely the #1 thing that I hate in Premier the most is calling people, especially for bookings. So that motivates me to remember that I need to be doing my booking activity, and I need to be getting those bookings at parties, always trying to replace a party with a party at the least, so that you're not going home and having to make those phone calls. And I've definitely been there many times when you look at your calendar and it's a little bit dead and you have to get on the phone and it's not fun. So just remember that going into your parties. Think about your bookings. And then the most important part of your booking activity is not what game you play or how fun it is or what incentive you give away or whether or not you have cute enough bags or anything like that. But the most important part of your booking activity is your confidence and how you portray yourself and how you come across to those women. And when we're going into it and we're not feeling very confident, we're like, oh, it's time for my booking activity, and this lady looks really bored over here, and that lady's really old, and I don't think any of these people are going to book parties. That they can tell, they hear that in your voice, and they see that in your body language, and that's something that can be really hard for me. Self-confidence has definitely been a huge personal growth area for me in Premier. And that's one of those things that I think can snowball. If you've had a couple parties where you didn't get a lot of bookings, then you get kind of down about it, and then you get a little more nervous about your booking activity. But you just need to remember, just get your head in that space. Just remember, you have an amazing product, and you have amazing hostess benefits, and those women want to book parties with you. They probably just wrote down like 8 to 10 things on their love it list. They love the jewelry, and they do want to book parties, and you can be confident. And when you are, they're more likely to actually book those parties with you too. So just put your head in that place. Like, this is a good thing. They do want to do this. Ladies want to have parties with me because I'm fun. Also, do those hard things. Do your booking activity. And when your calendar gets a little low, pick up the phone and call people. And it's hard and it's not fun. But you just have to keep that momentum and keep something on your calendar. Always ask for bookings at checkout, which I am not very good at, but that's an area that I'm growing in, and I know it's important, and it's something that I try to focus on at my parties. And also, Kate mentioned that hostess binder, where you should be keeping your hostesses organized. I think that's super important, because your hostesses, whether if they don't rebook at their party, they're very likely to book again at some point. So when you are needing to get on that phone, you can go back through that binder. I mean, I do it probably 2 to 3 times a year, and you can think, when did she have her last party? You know, how did that all go? Would she have another party for me? Give her a call. She probably will. So hostesses are great to fall back on when you really just need to add something to your party too. So, and also, just most importantly, it's just don't give up. In the book, Dare to Dream, what is it? Dare to Dream, Work to Win. I can read in the leadership group. The thing that sticks the most in my mind from that book is the author talks about a woman in his downline who was very successful, and then she just like fell off the face of the earth, and she just quit doing anything, and he called her up and was like, what's going on? And she said, well, I didn't quit, I just stopped. And I think I have seen that happen to so many women in this business, and it's easy. You don't necessarily decide in your head, I'm done, I'm going to quit. You just stop because it's hard. And if your business, you're not having bookings as consistently, parties as consistently as you want, as long as you are consistently working for it and calling for those bookings, then your business is going to keep going. Just don't stop. That's when it's going to die. So that's what I have.
Okay, so I took a different kind of track because I figured that Maggie would do that, like focusing on booking from shows, which is the best way to do it. Obviously, it's the least amount of work for us because we're already there. You already know they're super excited about the jewelry. They already have a big list, so that's definitely going to be the easiest place to get bookings. But what happens when you don't, or when you have a party that's when Kate mentioned the thing about she took off the 8 guests in attendance, I hate parties that have 8 guests because then they all chat to each other and my bookings go down. So I would much rather have 5 people there, to be honest. So, but I have had runs of things where it's like, no, nobody else has a party from a party. Okay, so what do you do then? So Maggie already touched on calling your hostesses. And that was definitely one thing I wanted to hit on, was just to stay in touch with people too. So I have people who were at a party and they said, oh yeah, I want to do that in the future. Crickets, right? So I just keep in touch with them. I do have a sale at my house a couple times a year. I also have various like Facebook sample sales and that kind of random thing throughout the year. So I just make sure that when I'm going to have some kind of event, I make sure to invite all of those people who I feel like would be great hostesses and they just haven't gotten that far yet. So 2 things that I do in relation to that, I invite them to the thing, and if they say, oh, my son's softball game is ended, I can't go, okay, great. How about we have your own party then? And so there's lots of different verbiage you can use for that, but I definitely just keep in touch with all of those people. If they were a guest at a party and they a year ago, and they kind of were like, yeah, maybe sometime I might do that, or they bought a ton of jewelry and didn't book their own party, follow up with them, call them later, because right then it wasn't a good time, but now it probably will be. Let's see, trying to think of other things that I have on my list that Maggie didn't already go. So I almost went first. I knew this was going to be like, it's all the same stuff, right? One thing that Kate already mentioned too, but go to training. Any trainings that you can go to them, because not only do you get the encouragement to not stop, but you also get the ideas to be like, oh, I didn't think about that. I'll just try that and see. And you never know, it might be that one thing that you needed. So I went through my parties for this year, just to see where I had gotten my hostesses from, to give you kind of an idea about where I'm at 4 years in. So out of the 24 parties that I've had so far this year,
You've had 27.
yeah,
I'm just checking in.
no, just this year,
Gotcha.
just this year, like 2017, not
Gotcha.
in the last
Okay,
12
I
months.
was looking.
No, different numbers. Okay, so out of those, a third of them, so 8 of them were booked from another show that I had this year. So that's a third of them. But because I only average 2 or 3 shows a month, then that means that I have to go other places. If I'm only getting 2 or 3 parties from each party, then where else do I go? I had 3 past hostesses that I called, and I said, hey, it's time for your party. And they're like, oh, okay. So I did that. And then I have done 3 vendor events. And talk to me later if you want to about all of that, because that's a whole other thing. And then I did the 24-hour booking challenge back in the spring. So there's also lots of documentation. There's all this verbiage, and there's all these cute little pictures and stuff that you post. And so basically for 24 hours, you spend a significant amount of time both on Facebook and messaging and texting, and I even called a couple people to get the next couple months filled out. So I had 8 from that as well. So I booked 17. So about half of those held. I still have a handful of them where they're like, oh yeah, in the fall. I'm like, okay, let's set a date. So they did, but it's like October still. So we'll see how those go. But that just gives you an idea, like really a third of them were from booking from the show, and then a bunch of them were just from doing these things, just following up with people that I've been in contact with before. So I just, I need more bookings for this month. Okay, who hosted last year at this time that might be interested in doing it again? So I think that's about it. Yeah, that's all I got.
Okay, so from the beginning of the show, as soon as the gals are walking in the door, I'm really trying to strike that balance with them between I'm their friend and I'm also confident and a professional. So I'm just trying to strike that balance with her as soon as she comes in. So some of the things that I would be doing would be to be sure I'm greeting her at the door with a handshake and smiling, asking her questions like just whenever she's engaging with her friend, just kind of inserting myself in there into the conversation so that I can start to build that rapport with her right away, because as you know, pretty soon I'm going to be asking her for a booking. So I want to already have that really good rapport established with her. And then I think just in general, like if you're feeling like you're having a lot of cancellations, make sure that you're not going too far to the friend zone, because that can happen too, where it's real easy for her to cancel on you. She's like, this girl doesn't take this very seriously. So make sure you're kind of striking that balance at your parties between being her professional, awesome jewelry lady that's going to help her earn a ton of free jewelry, and also a friend who's just kind of getting to know her better at the show. Booking activity. You have to do a booking activity at every single show. It's a non-negotiable, so make sure that you feel really comfortable in your booking activity, that it fits well with your personality. You want to paint the picture of something different, maybe than what she's seeing. So if you're in the living room with 5 other women, then you're painting a different picture, because maybe she's intimidated by that. So you're telling her about like, hey, we could get together at the coffee shop and gather a couple girlfriends from work and give her just something different. Maybe she will have a home show with the 5 friends, but maybe she needs to see something different from you. So you're going to paint that picture as you're telling her about the hostess plan. Always create some kind of visual. So during your booking activity, I always stack up boxes. They say that 80% of people are visual learners, and so stacking up those boxes and explaining the hostess plan, like you get 30%, box, which we're gonna do here in a little bit. That's gonna help her to visually connect with what she's actually going to be receiving. So she needs that picture. Bring each guest to the point of decision. So I'm going around and saying, Casey, girl, are you gonna have a jewelry show? When can we get a couple of your girlfriends together? And you're doing that for each guest. And you're doing that just because women make decisions about whether or not they're gonna have a jewelry show at all different points in the party. And so you want to just be touching on that first point. That's the first point. And if she says no, you say, no worries, it's no big deal. And then when you get all the way around the room and you've had some women that say no, or all of the women say no, you still say, girls, no worries, because we are women and we have the right to change our mind. And they love that and they think it's funny, and you get to the end and it's totally fine. But you have to exude that confidence. You can't just mope and be so embarrassed that you had some rejection, because it's not rejection of you, it's a rejection of their thinking, oh my gosh, but who would I even invite? Like, I don't even know my neighbors. Like, who would I even invite? So you can't take it personally. So be sure you're asking each person. Then you're going through your guest survey, and you're going to paint the picture again. So maybe you painted the picture of the coffee shop. Maybe this time you're painting a picture of the fundraiser in a little bit more detail, and you're asking for some bookings as you're going through your guest survey. You want to walk her through the guest survey. You don't just want to have her fill it out. Walk it through so you can explain some of those steps. Check out each guest separately if you need to. So when you get to checkout, you want to have that one-on-one conversation, and I want to say, Stacy, oh my gosh, girl, you have a list full of jewelry there. When can I help you earn some free jewelry? And so you're having that one-on-one conversation. For me, sometimes that's just easier in like one-on-one instead of in the living room, again, where everyone's listening in. So ahead of time, set your checkout area a little bit further away from where the couch might be. That just gives me a little bit more confidence to have that more personal conversation with her. After the party is all done, you're wrapping up your hostess. Ask your hostess for referrals. You just earned her a ton of free jewelry. She's excited. She's thinking about a couple of her girlfriends that couldn't make it. So ask her for referrals. This time last year, I went through a huge kind of like just line of retail and gave you guys a bunch of numbers, and it was like something crazy. Over $10,000 worth of my retail that year came specifically from asking for referrals. Just this random person I didn't even know that came from a referral. So ask your hostess for someone that she may know who would want to have a jewelry show. Be sure you're setting the date before you leave the party. That's crucial. You have to set the date. No exceptions, or else she's probably going to never call you, or you're never going to actually reach her for that date. I send her home with a catalog, has the date on the front of the catalog, so she's excited, she's connected with the jewelry, she's leaving with that. So let's see, when I get home, sending her a physical reminder. My face, my family, a little postcard. I believe in this. Like, I believe that this helps so much, because it's, again, that professional thing that she knows on my end, we are still on, and I'm just keeping her on track, just like I said that I would. So I'm sending her a reminder, save the date in the mail, something she can put up on her fridge. Stay in contact. Start hostess coaching early enough that if she needs to reschedule with you, then you have enough time to replace her jewelry show with someone else at a different home show. Meet with her face to face if you can at all. I believe in this. I think it works. If you meet face to face and I give you a hostess packet, I've taken my time to drive to your house, I've given you invitations, the likelihood that you're going to cancel on me has gone way down. And it does not take that much more effort to swing by her house for 5 minutes. It really doesn't. I do it all the time on the way to another errand. So try to get in front of her to hostess coach her and set her up for success that way. And then just do what you promise. I mean, when you tell her that you're going to do something, be sure that you follow through with that. Give her great and prompt service. That's a big thing. Prompt service. She will definitely brag about you to her friends at the other jewelry shows when you're giving her great service. That's it.
Yeah. Ladies, who's all filled up? That was like so much information all at once. That was amazing. Thank you so much. And can I just get another round of applause for these ladies for such a consistency? This is going to be awesome. So here's the deal. We have time to see at least one booking activity, maybe two, depends how long it takes. So I'm gonna have Sayla come up and model her booking activity, and then we'll evaluate the situation.
You're my guest. Hi. Hi. I'm gonna let these girls take notes. So you girls are gonna be my guests. Perfect. Okay, so when I get to my booking activity and my jewelry parties, I call two of the girls up here. Depends on the crowd. If it's a really tiny crowd, I usually just call one. But just depends. So this is the way that I make sure that everybody's staying engaged. So since you were voluntold, do you want to be Sue or Sally Sue?
I'll be Sally Sue.
Okay, that makes you Sue. Okay, so Sally, Sue, and Sue are good friends, and they came to a jewelry party just like this one. And when the jewelry lady said, do you want to have your own jewelry party? Sue said, no, that wasn't very much fun. I didn't find a lot of stuff I really liked. I found a few things, so I'll just get those. So Sue picked out 2 things. Average on those 2 things is going to be about $50 with tax and shipping. That'll come to the hostess in about 2 weeks. So she's happy and she moves on. Come to Sally Sue. I say, Sally Sue, do you want to have a jewelry party? And she says, girl, did you see my list? Did you see my list? And you know, I think I can come up with a couple people that'll come over. So she's gonna get free jewelry just for having some friends over. So the first thing that she gets is 30% of the sales back in free jewelry. Now girls, remember earlier when I told you my average is about $500, that's about the average for this area. So 30% of that, we'll make you do math, is $150. So hold those, there we go, Now you also get 4 to 8 items at half price.
Ooh,
so
nice.
just for easy math, let's pretend you're buying yourself a watch, because I know you were looking at my watch, right? Okay, so easy math though, the watches are the most expensive thing in their catalog, they're about $100. For math, we're just going to say they are. Okay, so that means you're paying $50 for your watch.
Okay.
You're getting another $15 in free jewelry.
Thanks.
You can do that another couple times, at least 4, sometimes more. Just
Wow.
okay, so for all of that jewelry though, you're really just paying tax and shipping, so it ends up being about $20. So $20, $50. Okay, so then I'll take this. Thank you. Let anybody do this, I tell you. And it happens probably 1 out of 5 parties that I have that I drop the whole stack. Okay. Yeah. Okay, girls. So then at this point I have them sit down. And then what I do is I take these boxes that are not going to cooperate. So then I take these boxes around, and like Sarah said about bringing everyone to a point of decision. So first I walk around and I say, okay, now take a box, but don't open it. I can hear you. I have 3 kids at home. I know if you're opening the box. Don't open it. So I walk around and I have them all open a box. Or I grab a box, excuse me. Then I come back up and I say, okay, girls, here's the deal with the boxes. You didn't open it yet, did you? Okay, so inside the box is an extra free dollar amount for me, ranging from $10 to $50. There's one that has $50. So the way this part works is I'm going to ask you if you want to open your box. If you open your box, that means that we're setting a date for your jewelry party, and you will get that extra bonus at your party. But it shakes. You be quiet. She, of course, opened the one empty box. So in the box, the thing that shakes is a bracelet that's for you if we set your date in the next 6 weeks. So usually I'll pick a date. So it'll be like, if I was doing it now, I'd say by October 15th. So if you pick your date by October 15th, then you also get the bracelet that's in here. So then I walk around, I put them back in the bag, I grab my bag again. Stay. And so I grab my bag and I just walk to each lady and I say, Casey, do you want to open your box? She's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. So she opens it and it says some dollar amount and it's just written on the lid right here. I say, oh, $30, great, good job. Keep your box because I won't remember. And then, do you want to keep the bracelet too? Yeah, okay. So remember, we'll set your date before October 15th. Stacey, do you want to open your box?
No.
That's totally fine. I'm just going to put it back in here. It's totally fine. So I do that for every guest, and as I go around the room, and then when I get back up to the front, and some people will be like, that's okay. You don't have to decide right now. Just hang on to it. I'm going to move on. And then when I get back to the front, then I ask those people who didn't decide if they want to open their box now, or if they just want to hang on to it. And then I ask them again at checkout if they didn't open a box. I still have these boxes right here. Are you sure you don't want to open a box? So then what I do is I write there, for bookkeeping purposes, I write that amount on their guest survey. And I also write it in the calendar. So they see when I'm writing their date, when they're picking their date, I write it down. Okay, Casey's party's on October 10th, and she gets the $30 in free jewelry because of that. So that's what I do.
So they get their $30 in free jewelry
At their party. Yep, at their party. So I'm not out any if they decide, oh, just kidding, I don't want to do it right now.
Okay.
She does mostly
Right.
I feel like we have quite a bit of success.
I do. Yeah, I do. I think that out of the last, let me think. I've been doing this activity for 3 years because I feel like the people who will book at a party like this game, and the people who won't book at a party won't like any game. So, and this one, as you can tell, I don't have to think about it. So, yeah, I would say I get on average 1 to 3. I either get 1 or I get 3. I don't hardly ever get that 2 because of the bonus we had. So.
Okay, while Sarah's setting
Sometime
up,
between 10 and 50. So I have about a dozen boxes with me, just in case. And I think, like Casey said, I'm pretty sure most of them are 20s. There's a few 30s, a few 40s, 1 50, and a few 10s. So most of them are 20s.
so what Sayla just said, she normally either gets 1 or 3 bookings, but rarely 2 because of that bonus. We used to be able to give our hostesses, if they had 3 bookings, you could pretty much always get a party from 2 to 3. So I forgot to tell you, ladies, on the guest survey that I'm going to post later and pass around, it says on there, your hostess and friend needs 3 bookings tonight to receive her favorite wrap bracelet for free.
Nice.
So, excuse me. That's what I did actually at my party yesterday. There was 2 guests and I had 3 parties. 2 guests and they booked 3 parties because what happened? The hostess rebooked because she wanted a free wrap bracelet. So I wanted to mention that, and something else I forgot to tell you, and then I just forgot again. So we'll let Sarah know.
I'm gonna be my Holly hostess cakes. Jay, Sailor.
I'm coming.
All right. So, girls, let's see, what does I use? H. H is for hostess, Holly hostess. I'm gonna have you come on up. Everybody give Holly a hand. Thank you, Holly. Girl, okay, we are here to hook you up in free jewelry. And ladies, I want to show you what it would be like if you hosted your own jewelry party. I told you earlier how much Premier loves people, and they seriously put their money where their mouth is when it comes to my hostesses. Best part of my night is when I get to tell my hostess at the end of the night how much free jewelry she just got. So you ready for this? Let's put Sayla to the test. We're gonna do some jewelry Jenga here. Okay, average price or average party, I mentioned earlier, it was $400, but actually here in the Colorado area, we're lucky because it's a little bit higher. It's $500, which means more free jewelry for my hostess. Can you handle that? Yeah, she can handle it. Okay, so girls, she gets 30% back of her party's retail in free jewelry. I want you to help her count up how much she's gonna earn. This is worth $25. So 25, 50,
75.
25, 150. That's 30% of an average size party. Okay, then on top of that, Premier lets our hostesses go shopping at half price. So no restrictions, whatever you want to purchase in the catalog at half price after you've exhausted all that free jewelry, then you get to go shopping at half price. So you can get anywhere from 4 to 8 items at half price. So I don't know, let's just add those on. Maybe those are Christmas presents or something like that. So do you think you could handle this much free jewelry? She did pretty good on her jewelry Jenga. Everybody clap for Sayla. All right. You can have a seat.
Thank you.
Thank you. And girls, I'm just going to go around. I put some of my most favorite bracelets right here on these cute little pillows because I know when you're out and about, you're talking to your girlfriends, and they see your cute little bracelet on. It's great advertisement for your own jewelry show. So I want to give you this to take home as a gift tonight when you book a jewelry show. All right, Casey girl, I'm going to start with you. I'm wondering if you think that giant stack of bling and taking a bracelet home would be a good deal for having a jewelry show. What do you think, babe?
Yes, I really want that one.
It's yours. You have it right now. Okay? Stacy, what do you think?
Yes, I'll take that.
She loves that one. Girl, you got it. It's yours.
Thank you.
Sayla?
I don't know if I can right now.
That's okay. Girl, you can think about it. Ladies, we are women and we have the right to change our minds. So if you get back to the table later and you're like, oh my gosh, my love it list is longer than my husband said I could spend tonight, that is okay. You can take a bracelet there. Boom. Done.
Yeah.
That's it.
Awesome.
But really, what is the bracelet?
Yeah, what is that one?
That would be Leo, right?
Oh my gosh.
Well,
Are you kidding me?
Boom, chocolate, that's on there.
So what if people want the same bracelet?
It's first come, first served. And sometimes I'll have like extra of the same one, but like right now, those girls are like, what's that one? Oh, it's a retired
It's
bracelet
retired.
on there. Oh, okay. So
Like 2
fair,
years
that
ago.
just happens when if I just have, it's kind of first come, like, well, it kind of builds up the excitement a little bit too.
Okay.
So I'll say that sometimes, like, this is the only one I have, so if you want it, leave it in your house.
Boom, found them. Sorry. Okay. And I remember one thing I was going to tell you.
I'm so organized.
So I forgot to tell you how my customer, she was so excited that I was going to email her husband all 3 occasions and everything else, but how am I going to know what to email her husband with? So honestly, I hadn't really thought that through because it's all new. So I'm like, am I going to keep her love it list? Am I going to send it home with her? Because she has a big old love it list, and right on my love it list it says, you can shop with me all year long at KaylaCamere.com and blah, blah, blah. So I actually really do want her to have her love it list, but then I wanted me to have her love it list. I was like, what do I do? So on the fly, I took a picture of it. Okay, so I can go home and whatever system I'm going to use to organize all that information later, and I'll have to get back to you on that. Now I have her love it list, and I have her husband's email, and I have her permission to email him 3 times a year, which according to Jeremy should be 6. And so we're just getting started here, but I'll let you know. So I thought Leah had a great idea. She said she was thinking about getting an accordion folder January through December, and then going home and dealing with the love it lists, either printing them out or taking them home or however she has them. Then if her birthday's in March, I'm filing all of those the month before. So I just have a whole system of all the ones I'm filing throughout the year. So at the beginning of the month, beginning of April, I can open up and see all the people with birthdays coming up in April or May and just kind of start like that. And then the Mother's Day and Christmas, you'd almost just have to go through every month because they probably all circled Mother's Day and Christmas or whatever, right? So thought about that, not really sure. Again, those will be things that come later. But for now, in my little panic, I just snapped a picture of it, and I'm gonna have to deal with that later. Yes.
Hooden House will keep track of wish lists and relatives information like that.
Hooden House, there you go. So if you have Hooden House, then you can do that, which I do. I can show you that later in our workshop.
Yeah.
Did you
Oh yeah.
did you tell her to go tell her husband that you were going to be contacting
No.
her?
So Stacy said, did I tell her to tell her husband that I was going to be contacting? No. But what I plan to do, and again, this was just like yesterday, like, what do I do? So what I plan to do is make a little image, pick collage or red stamp with my picture on it, and I'm going to say, like, hey, I got to party with your wife yesterday. My name's Kate. You'll be hearing from me in March, May, and Christmas, whatever.
Yeah.
And just kind of like let him know kind of a thing. So that's my plan for right now. But again, in a few months, we'll do lots of idea sharing. So for right now, I just know I've got a customer and all that. Okay, we're going to do some recognition, ladies. Can I have the designers come on up, please? This is when you need to have your CV reports ready because we are going to do some shout outs for some hard workers this month. Super excited. Okay, perfect. All right, let me have everybody stand up to your feet, please. Woohoo! I need some shouting. We need some hooting and hollering, ladies. I do not hear you. All right, congratulate your neighbor for making it to training tonight, even on the day. All right, what about your neighbor who's wearing her Bronco bling? That girl needs a high five. You can't hear Joe. Awesome, love it. haven't even started your business yet. Can you keep standing for me? We're all gonna need tickets up here, so take some.
Yes.
Heidi is restarting her business. You can get an extra ticket, Heidi, because you know what? That's probably harder than starting the first time. So, I mean, there's something to be said for that, for sure. Awesome. All right, good job making it to training. Those of you who are in your quick start, coming to your first 4 trainings is non-negotiable, totally critical, and then you decide from there. What I know is if you come to your first 4, you'll realize that you'd be crazy to stop, so that's how that goes. All right, good job, ladies. And I would love to know if you got a tip from the booking panel. Anybody? Raise your hand, stand up. Did you get a tip? Kelsey, what did you learn?
I learned that you need to be more confident in yourself when you're selling this.
Good point. Awesome. Love it. Anybody else have something they want to share? Donna.
We are women, we're allowed to change our mind.
Anybody else? One more. Anybody? Valerie.
Let's say that's 2 girls.
Yes. So cute. Yes, definitely. Yep. Love it. All right, ladies. Good job. All right. I would love to know who has set up their website. Stand up if you've set up your website.
I'm just giving the world away. More tickets.
I don't have the tickets. We need more. We need more. Ticket roll.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, who wants to tell me something you love about your website? I already know all the things you don't love about it. Okay? I'd like to know what you do love about it, Jamie.
I love that when somebody's shopping for something, if it's in the category of what it is, they can go back like the boho collection or whatever, so they can easily remember what they like.
Yes, totally, Maggie.
I love that it suggests items that go with them.
Yes. Absolutely, Angela.
I love that it's broken down into like sentences.
Yes.
You don't have to go into it. You're just looking for a certain
Yes, exactly.
I like that you can type in the item number or the name, so like someone wrote it down but didn't write down the number, they can.
Yes, love it. Exactly. That's called focusing on what we have instead of focusing on what we don't have, ladies. So that's the way we have to embrace this right now, because I'll tell you what, it's coming. It's going to get better and better. So, all right, we're going to recognize some of the top jewelers in 4 different categories. So, starting with the number of shows that you held in the month of August. If you had a jewelry party, at least one, stand up. Did you have one jewelry show in August? Awesome. No. Thank you. No ticket. No ticket. Awesome. Okay, keep standing if you had 2. Keep standing if you had 3 jewelry shows. Woo! Keep standing, ladies, if you had 4 jewelry shows in August. 5 jewelry shows in August. Woo! How many hats did you have?
7?
Yeah. There you go. Awesome.
Okay. Now, number 2.
There you go. Right there, baby. Right there.
Okay, let me start off by, we're going to recognize the highest single home show. So stand up if you had a $500 jewelry show in August.
Yeah.
500 or higher, stand up.
Woo!
Yeah.
Make a little money, ladies.
Huh? If it was 600 or higher, keep standing. Alright, lost the few. 800. 9.
It was like somewhere between 8 and 9.
Woo! Good job. Tickets down there. Extra tickets. All right. All right, ladies, this is where we're going to talk turkey. Highest total retail for the month of August. If you had a total retail of $800 or more, can you stand up, please? Woo! Love it. Awesome. Keep standing if your retail was $1,000. $1,200. Good job, Kat. That's awesome. $1,400. Awesome. 16. 18. I already know. Blah 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 blah. $2,500. $2,600. These ladies both retail between $2,500 and $2,600. Am I right? Yes. 27. Ladies, calm down. It's all in there.
Am I supposed to? Hang on, I'm sorry. Me? You keep doing this. Hey, Brody, you do it, babe.
Okay, let me just tell you what. Someone in your life needs to hear about Premier. Do you agree? Women are making money in this business. And there were 5 jewelers who came into our Premier family in the month of August. If you sponsored a new jeweler, will you stand up? If you signed up a new jeweler, I honestly can't remember who Leah did. That's awesome. Erin did. She's done. Stephanie did. Rebecca did. Oh my God! You're screaming and bouncing. I mean, of course we would just assume that, except there was no bouncing. So I just didn't know what to think about that. Okay, so if you are a new jeweler, will you go ahead and stand up, please, so we can welcome you? Awesome. And our newest jeweler, of course, Leanne, who signed up tonight. Love it. Okay, so Leah.
Yes. All right. It says have a seat. You guys are all. I want to know if anybody overcame something this month. Sick kids, canceled hostess, you were sick, stand up!
Stand up, girl.
Two people. Everyone else just had a fabulous month. Easy, right?
Right? Okay.
Okay, Carrie, tell us what you overcame this month.
I'm not sure you can see that.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody else?
Carrie, she gets some tickets. Yeah. She's had a hard month, and this girl has overcame a lot.
Yes. Does anybody have something they want to share? What did we overcome this month? Chelsea.
I put together a bridal shower and bachelorette party the same day, and it came out successful.
Yes!
Awesome.
Who's going? Who's talking?
I drove all the way to Montana and I was supposed to have 5 parties and 2 of them held, but I still make money.
Yes!
Yes. Good job, ladies.
Okay, so, let's see. We're going to stand up again. If anybody made a personal goal in Premier, if you set a business goal this month, last month, August, right? If you met that goal, I want you to stand up. Whatever it is. Yes. Yes. Okay.
Totally. Yep.
Remind me your name. Jamie? Yes. Jamie, tell us what was your goal?
I signed up almost a year ago. I got pregnant in March and had like the worst early pregnancy, so I completely fell off everything. And I said, I'm going to get shows booked before this baby comes.
Yes.
And I had 1 yesterday, I have 3 booked, and I should have 2 more before October.
Woo! Tickets. That's awesome. Anybody else want to share?
Anybody else?
I played really hard this summer and have not done a good jewelry. But I booked 3 parties in August.
Awesome. Good job, ladies.
Anybody? Taylor?
My goal was to beat last year's August, which I did.
Yes.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Well, I just started mid-June, and quite frankly, my life has changed drastically. But when I started, I just said, I can make $500 in a month, and I paid back my investment, and now I'm like, I don't know, maybe $1,500. So
Yes.
I think that's worth more than one ticket right now. Get your names on your tickets, by the way.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Can you make money in this business, girls? Month after month after month?
Oh, here it is.
Okay, so next we're going to go on to recognition for the Quick Start program. If you accomplished your Quick 6 in August, or since the last time we met, right? Yeah, since the last time we met, because train's been a little bit. If you accomplished your Quick 6, stand up. Woo! And probably gonna stay here because if you accomplish your Quick 9, and Quick 12, almost. Awesome. And then the Home Show Club. Did anybody make Home Show Club this month? Last month?
made her 100th. Oh, it's in September. It's done.
Good job.
Yeah, you get a ticket for that and a paycheck. Awesome. Okay, I think. Did we have anyone make a crown jewel in August?
Crown jewel. Officially or fake?
Crown jewel. Totally. I know. Andrew's like, oh, it's like, I don't know. All right, awesome. Okay, ladies. Well, we're gonna do a drawing. Okay, so let's get all those tickets in.